Have you ever wondered what truly defines a good life after 65? It's not the size of your home, the number of friends you have, or how much you've saved. It's something far deeper, those quiet abilities that show your body, mind, and spirit are still alive and thriving. As we age, it's easy to focus on what we've lost. But today, we're shifting that perspective. We'll focus on what you still have, because those abilities say more about your strength than anything else. In this video, we'll talk about 5 powerful skills that show you're living well after 65. They're not talents or physical feats, but inner strengths, daily habits, and ways of seeing life that many people lose with age, but some manage to keep. If you still have these abilities, you're not just surviving. You're living proof that aging can be graceful, joyful, and full of purpose. Stay until the end, because you might discover you have more of these skills than you realize. And if you do, take it as a sign that you're doing things right, even if the world doesn't always say it out loud. Let's begin. Number 1, the ability to adapt without bitterness. One of the greatest signs that you're living well after 65 is your ability to adapt, change, adjust, and move forward without letting bitterness take root. Many people grow older and get stuck in the past, clinging to how things used to be. But if you can still bend without breaking, accepting what life brings with calm instead of anger, that's true strength. Adapting doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It means recognizing that even when life takes unexpected turns, health changes, loved ones moving away, or a world that seems to move faster than you remember, you can still find your place in it. The ability to stay flexible in mind and heart shows that your spirit is still alive and learning. Think of Barbara, a 73-year-old woman who lost her husband after 45 years of marriage. She could have let grief define her, but instead, she started taking long walks, joined a local art group, and learned to paint landscapes. She didn't replace her loss. She reshaped her life around it. That's what adapting truly means, choosing to grow instead of grieving. Psychologists say resilience and emotional flexibility are among the strongest indicators of longevity and mental well-being. When your mind stays open to new experiences, your brain forms new connections, keeping it agile and young. Adaptation is exercise for the soul. It keeps you alive inside, no matter what happens outside. People who age well often share this quiet wisdom. They know life never stops changing, so they stop resisting it. They don't see aging as loss, but as evolution. They learn to laugh at small frustrations, ask for help when needed, and keep exploring instead of withdrawing. That's how they stay young at heart, even as their hair turns gray. So if you can still find the good in change, if you can adjust to new routines or accept life's imperfections without resentment, you're doing something very right. Because those who thrive after 65 aren't the ones who resist aging. They're the ones who walk hand in hand with it, discovering new ways to live. Number 2, the ability to stay curious. If you've reached your 60s, 70s, or 80s and still feel the urge to learn something new, ask questions, or explore ideas others overlook, you're living life the right way. Curiosity keeps your mind young. It's the quiet fire that drives you to stay connected to the world, no matter your age. When you stop being curious, life starts to shrink. But when you nurture curiosity, the world keeps expanding. It gives you reasons to wake up with purpose, to read, create, ask why, instead of saying, I already know. That mindset separates those who merely age from those who keep growing. Think of James, a 77-year-old man who had never used a computer until last year. Most people his age felt intimidated by technology, but he decided to take a free digital course at his local library. At first, he struggled to write an email. Now, he watches documentaries online, sends photos to his grandchildren, and even writes his life stories in a digital journal. Learning gave him something invaluable: confidence. Curiosity works like exercise for your brain. Every new thing you learn creates connections that keep your memory sharp and your thinking agile. Studies show that older adults who stay mentally active, whether by reading, solving puzzles, conversing, or trying new hobbies, are far less likely to experience cognitive decline. But beyond the science, there's joy in it. It reminds you that you're still part of the world's rhythm, still learning, still alive. When you're curious, you don't just watch life pass by, you participate in it. Whether you're taking an art class, learning an instrument, or simply reading about something unknown, you're feeding your soul. That hunger to learn shows you still believe in the future, and that belief is what keeps you vibrant inside. Even small moments of curiosity matter. Asking a grandchild about their favorite game, learning a new word, or exploring a different path on your walk. Each one widens your world a little more, and that openness radiates. Curious people are more interesting to talk to, more patient, and often happier. So if you still have the desire to explore, to question, to understand the changing world around you, be proud. You've kept alive one of the most vital human capacities. The hunger to grow isn't just a sign of intelligence, it's a sign of a life fully lived. Number 3, the ability to forgive and let go. As the years pass, one of the hardest yet most liberating skills a person can retain is forgiveness, the ability to release anger, regret, and disappointment. Many people carry the weight of old wounds for decades, and it silently steals their peace. But if you've reached your 60s, 70s, or 80s and can look back without bitterness, if you can see both the good and the bad with serene acceptance, you've mastered one of the deepest forms of wisdom. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting what happened or pretending it didn't hurt. It means deciding that your peace of mind is worth more than reliving old pain. When you forgive others or yourself, you reclaim control over your heart. You stop letting the past dictate how you feel today. Think of Eleanor, a 69-year-old woman who spent years angry at her brother over an inheritance dispute. For a long time, she couldn't say his name without resentment. But one day, she realized the anger drained her more than the memory itself. So she wrote him a letter, not to rekindle the relationship, but to free herself. Whether he replied or not didn't matter. What mattered was that she was free again. Holding on to anger ages you faster than time itself. It drains your energy, clouds your thoughts, and traps you in a story that no longer serves you. But forgiveness softens you without making you weak. It creates space for joy, gratitude, and new beginnings. It allows your heart to stay light, your smile to come easily, and your nights to be restful. Even forgiving yourself is a mark of strength. Many older adults silently carry guilt, parenting mistakes, missed opportunities, words spoken in anger. But self-forgiveness is the bridge between the life you've lived and the peace you still deserve. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time, and understanding that brings compassion, not just for yourself, but for those around you. Science confirms that forgiveness also benefits physical health. It reduces stress, lowers blood pressure, and improves sleep quality. But perhaps the greatest benefit is emotional clarity. Once you let go of resentment, you start noticing beauty again, in people, in memories, even in the simple moments that fill your day. Forgiveness doesn't happen in an instant. It's a practice, a decision you renew each time old feelings resurface. Over time, it transforms you from within. You begin to see the past not as a burden, but as a teacher. Every pain you've endured becomes proof of your resilience, not evidence of your loss. If you can still forgive easily, if you can let go of what you can't change and find peace with what remains, you've won one of life's hardest battles. Because forgiveness doesn't just free others, it frees you. It means your heart is still open, your spirit still soft, and your soul still capable of love. Number 4, the ability to find joy in ordinary days. After 65, one of the most powerful signs that you're living well is your ability to find joy in life's small, everyday moments. When you can wake up, pour yourself a cup of coffee, look out the window, and feel gratitude for still being here. That's not a small thing. It's wisdom earned through decades of living. Many people chase big achievements or intense emotions, but true happiness in later life often hides in simplicity. Finding joy in the ordinary doesn't mean your life is perfect or that you ignore challenges. It means you've learned to see beauty where others see routine. The morning sunlight on your table, the sound of rain, a grandchild's laughter, or a meal prepared with care. These aren't insignificant things. They're the quiet treasures that make life whole. People who master this ability share something remarkable. They've stopped comparing themselves. They no longer measure their days by how much they achieve, but by how much they feel. That shift from ambition to appreciation is what brings peace. You realize you don't need more to be content. You just need to notice what's already around you. Think of Harold, an 81-year-old man who spends most of his time tending to a small garden behind his house. Every morning he waters the plants, talks to them like old friends, and feels joy watching them grow. It's not about the plants, it's about the ritual, the peace it brings him, the sense of connection to life itself. That simple daily act keeps him grounded and happy. Joy in simplicity doesn't happen by accident. It's a skill. You develop it by slowing down, paying attention, and releasing constant expectations. When you stop chasing happiness and start noticing it, you discover it's been there all along. Psychologists call this the gratitude shift, the point in life where appreciation becomes the foundation of emotional health. Older adults who regularly express gratitude tend to experience less stress, better sleep, and stronger social connections. But beyond the research, it's something you can feel. Gratitude softens your perspective, makes you kinder, more patient, and more connected to others. This ability also protects you from loneliness. Even when you spend time alone, you don't feel empty. You begin to find companionship in the world itself, in memories, in small routines, in the quiet rhythm of your own breath. That's when loneliness transforms from isolation into peace. So if you can still find joy in an ordinary day, if you can smile while washing dishes, enjoy a leisurely walk, or feel gratitude for one more sunrise, you've achieved something extraordinary. You've learned to live, not just exist. Because people who see beauty in simplicity never truly grow old. They become peaceful. Number 5. The ability to love unconditionally. If you're between 65 and 85 and still have the capacity to love freely, without judgment, expectations, or bitterness, then you're living life the right way. Because at this stage, love is less about romance or obligation and more about understanding, empathy, and presence. It's the quiet, patient love that asks for nothing in return. The kind that listens more than it speaks, that gives without keeping score. Many people reach old age and close their hearts out of fear of loss, disappointment, or rejection. But if your heart remains open, ready to care, you've achieved something most people spend their lives searching for: love in its purest form. It's not about youth or energy, it's about attention. It's sitting with someone and being truly present. It's showing kindness to strangers, forgiving quicker, hugging longer, and speaking gently, even when you don't have to. Think of Ruth, an 82-year-old widow who volunteers twice a week at a local community center. She says helping others fills her heart in a way nothing else does. She lost her husband years ago, but instead of letting loneliness harden her, she chose to keep giving love wherever she could. Love doesn't disappear when people leave. It changes form, as she herself says. That wisdom captures what love is after 65, softer, steadier, and infinitely more powerful. The ability to love unconditionally also changes how you see the world. You stop dividing people into good or bad and start understanding that everyone is doing their best with what they have. You begin to see the pain behind anger, the fear behind criticism, and the sadness behind distance. That understanding doesn't make you naive, it makes you compassionate. Science confirms that older adults who maintain close emotional connections with friends, family, or even pets tend to live longer, heal faster, and experience lower rates of depression. Love, in its simplest form, is medicine for the soul. It calms the nervous system, strengthens immunity, and gives meaning to your days. But more than that, it gives you a reason to keep showing up in life. When you love freely, you stop trying to control or change others. You learn to accept life as it comes, and people as they are. That acceptance isn't weakness, it's peace. It means you've finally understood what life has been trying to teach you all along. Love isn't something you receive, it's something you become. So, if, at this age, your heart still knows how to care, forgive, show kindness, and give warmth without expecting anything in return, you've done something truly right. You've learned what matters most. You've discovered that the secret to happiness at any age isn't wealth or youth. It's a love that never runs out, and that's the purest sign that you're living life exactly as it should be lived. Final thoughts. As you reflect on these 5 abilities, adaptability, curiosity, forgiveness, gratitude, and unconditional love, take a moment to notice which ones you still carry with you today. Maybe you've learned to adjust to life's changes with calm, or perhaps your curiosity still drives you to learn something new every day. These aren't small things. They're the foundation of a life lived with meaning and grace. Aging isn't about losing abilities. It's about recognizing which ones truly matter. If you still have these 5, you've achieved something most people never master. You've learned to live well, even when life no longer looks the way it used to. You've chosen to grow instead of grieve, peace instead of resentment, and love instead of fear. That's what it means to be truly alive. So be proud of where you are. You've weathered storms, adapted to change, found joy in simplicity, and kept your heart open. These aren't signs of aging, they're signs of becoming wise, and that wisdom is something the world desperately needs more of. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating valuable content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.